Hi, I'm Philip Selway and you're watching me on spinner.com. So they all pretty much date from that point. Actually, that's when kind of all the little fragments of music which was starting to come together for me. That's when they really started then to gather a head of steam, and then got to the point about 3 or 4 years ago where I realised actually there was a collection of what felt like a collection of songs there. It felt something that didn't fit within Radiohead, and it's something that I wanted to do outside of that, and that was the point where I decided, yeah, I want to make a record. Not in the details, kind of probably in the sentiments in there. It was when I was approaching 40, and so it was bound up in all those kind of those life changes, and that fact that you're at that midpoint, or you hope it's the midpoint anyway, in your life, and so you kind of equal measure you're looking backwards and looking ahead, but there's also this sense of these very significant relationships around you, that either immediate family or colleagues that you've worked with for a very long time. All these relationships, there's great complexity and there's richness to them, and the way that they shape you, and kind of, I suppose, the impact that you have on them as well. For me, it was kind of taking the emotional response to that out of them, trying to put that into the songs, and actually taking, without sounding overly sentimental, taking the warmth out of that. That's really what I wanted to kind of underpin the record, was that, the warmth. There are all those layers in there that are very, very delicate as well, and they've all got very distinctive voices, because of the people who were playing on the record. There's Lisa Germano and Sebastian Steinberg and Glenn Cochi and Pat Sansone from Wilco as well. They've just these great musicians, but they were very, very fortunate. They're very in tune with that idea of almost restraint, if you like, keeping the space around the song, but then actually finding ways of scuffing it up so it didn't become overly pretty or didn't become too precious. Musically, that's the oldest one on there, but it was the one that took the longest to write lyrically. It was the last lyric that I finished. Coming back to that thing of that sense of being at that midpoint in your life, that song's very much bound up in that. That sense of your responsibilities in your life. There's a sense that actually you have all this accumulated experience by that point, and it can be quite a heady place to be. And it's just that sense of don't look down. Oh, it's originally that's going to be the that was the working title for the album, and then I discovered it was a Keris Matthews record, so I kind of knocked that one on the head. But then again, it led me to Familial, which I think is actually pulls the record and the artwork and everything together in a much better way. That's been quite a long process, actually. I mean, I've done backing vocals in Radiohead for a while, but that's a very different kind of that has a very different kind of demand on it. What I took from that, I knew I could sing in tune, which is a good starting point, but it's then finding a kind of tone, or a delivery that actually reflects you and actually brings something out of the material that you're writing. I think it's the same as watching actually anybody in the band, everybody, how they've just kind of honed their own particular take on what they're playing. There's very, very strong voices that come through that, and finding out what's appropriate to you. I tried to apply that to finding a way into the vocals. It took a while though. There's a lot of trial and error, and some horrendous moments of hearing it back for the first time and just not how I heard it in my head. You know, Mickey Mouse singing on these tracks, that's not how I envisaged it really. Actually, with these songs, I just wasn't hearing drum parts at all, which was a very peculiar experience for me. You know, it's part of you thinking, have I lost it? But it wasn't. It was just, you know, just that concentration on writing the songs. I don't have a broad theoretical vocabulary, put it that way, but I suppose there's a similarity between how I put the two, how I work on parts between drumming and songwriting. It's I follow my instincts, and I will just play around until something that I find satisfying, and then try and disrupt that a little bit in some way as well. I have, yes, relatively low-key shows back at Easter with it was Lisa Germano and myself and Sebastian Steinberg and another musician called David Coulter. We went out for a fortnight and we played in Italy, Spain and Portugal. It wasn't a hardship in any way at all, but for me it was an apprenticeship for me. I had no experience of being at the front of the stage, and so then going into clubs where I mean, basically in a lot of moments, you know, the audience are a couple of feet away from you. It's kind of baptism of fire, and it's a very intense way of learning a different side of that the stagecraft, really. It's that sense of amazement that you found that again as well. That place to, yes, I mean, you know, with each passing one, you think, well, maybe that's my window into that kind of relationship with music. Maybe that's gone, but it's great when it does come back around again. At 43, yeah. Good age to start it.